right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies inspired it. But today on the show, it's one of our monthly trailer roundups. We are going to be looking at a whole bunch of movies that are coming out in April 2025. And with the help of Jason Harris from Awesome Movie Year, we will see if we can figure out some puzzle pieces just based on those trailers. And then we'll see, maybe we'll end up covering some of these movies here on the show in full episodes later in the month and see, if we were right about some of these. So, got some good movies to look forward to. And also some that we're, not quite looking forward to. But we'll get into all that as we get into the conversation. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where I'm sure we'll be talking about all these movies as they start coming out. Also, before we get to the conversation, we got to get into some listener puzzle pieces. I always ask that you guys send in any puzzle pieces you think of for any movies we cover throughout the month, and then I'll read them here on the trailer episodes. And I got some this month, not a lot, but I got some good stuff. So, kicking it off with one of our live shows, Mickey 17. I got from Josie DeMarco. She said Gattaca, The Lobster, Evolution, City of Lost Children, and Dark City. And City of Lost Children and Dark City, I was kind of going in that direction just from the trailer, but then when I got there in the theater and was watching the movie, I kind of went away from those, although they were things that I had thought of. The Lobster is definitely something that I'm surprised I didn't think of on the moment while we were actually recording, because I love The Lobster, and I could totally see that one fitting in there really well. Joe Black mentioned Red Dwarf, which I don't know that movie, I don't think, unless I'm just not thinking of the right thing. So I'm going to have to look that one up. But thanks, as always, Joe, for sending in some stuff. For presents, I actually got one from Josh Bell, who was the guest on the episode. After he recorded the episode, he actually watched the film The Changeling from 1980 and said that it definitely would have made his puzzle piece list. It's a clear influence. And I don't think I've ever actually seen The Changeling, but my understanding of what happens in that movie, I can totally imagine how that would fit in really well. And I should probably watch The Changeling. That's definitely one I should watch. Moving on to The Day the Earth Blew Up, we've got, again, Josie DeMarco and Joe Black sending in some puzzle pieces. First up, Josie DeMarco said The Stuff, Evolution, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, and Muppets from Space. And I feel like Muppets from Space goes along with a lot of the stuff we were talking about. And Evolution is one that I was thinking of too. That kind of goes along with the Mars Attacks piece that I brought up. I don't think I've ever seen John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. I think that's one of the few John Carpenter movies I haven't seen yet. I should watch that sometime. But anyway, Joe Black said Men at Work and Ren and Stimpy. Joe, you did you listen to the episode? Because I definitely brought up Ren and Stimpy. But Men at Work, again, Joe coming with stuff that I don't know. What is Men at Work? I'm going to look it up. Hold on. Men at Work, action comedy with Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez as garbage men who spend their work days goofing around and disrupting the... good piece. I could already tell 10 words into this. Good piece, Joe. I love it. That fits really well with everything going on with Daffy and Porky, and I'm sure is a blast. But that's our listener puzzle pieces for the month. So thank you to everyone who sent in pieces. And if you're listening to a Piecing It Together episode and you think of a movie you think might have been an influence, send it in. I'd love to hear it, and I will read it on the next trailers episode. And with that said, let's get into some movies for April. All right, Jason Harris is back with us for another month of trailers. How you doing, Jason?
Dave, I'm fine. The state of our country is not. Is there a term for when you're not personally depressed, but the nation keeps depressing you by how terrible we're doing? This isn't that type of podcast. Let's talk about movies. Hooray!
I was going to say April Fools. None of that's happening. It's all perfect and wonderful. So yeah, everything's terrible. But movies are good. I like movies. I'm excited for movies. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot this past month. I had a lot of random stuff going on, and so as we go through our last month's list, you'll find that I barely saw any of this stuff. So.
You know what else? We get a good kind of overview of what's, hey, it's an exciting month. There's 5 or 6 cool things coming up. Nope, not April. Nope.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think maybe
Nope.
2 or 3 exciting
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
Maybe one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's go to last month. We started with Rule Breakers, our monthly Angel Studios pick, which of course, neither of us saw, I'm sure.
You have to start an Angel Studio spin-off podcast. Like, only angels have studios.
If I could get a sponsor, I will start an Angel Studios podcast and make Jason my co-host. And
Jesus is our
there
sponsor.
you go. Absolutely. Night of the Zoopocalypse is up next. I saw one mutual friend say that it was a lot of fun, and I didn't hear another thing about it the entire month, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
me and you are doing a podcast more like Night of the Jewpocalypse.
ooh, very nice. I like it.
Happy Passover.
There you go. Novocaine was up next, which I do know a lot of people who liked. I thought looked awful, but I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it when it's on rental at some point.
That seems like a more of a let's wait till it's on the TV type movie.
There you
So,
go. Black Bag, Jason really wants to be the guest on, and I just can't get to the theater.
I'm over it, bro.
I'm hoping to get there, if not this weekend, early next week, and we will do the episode. It'll come out when the film hits streaming.
Who can even now? How do I even remember it? I saw it opening day.
Jason, you're a professional. You're a professional.
And I told you, hey, you should see this. It's a quarter of the year in, we're looking at the best movie out so far, and you're like, nah, I'll go see Fart Box and Punchhead instead, or something.
I couldn't even see Fart Box and Punchhead. I had a sick dog. He's doing okay though, and various other things, and so I just could not get to it. But I want to, and I can't wait to see it. But next up, I had no excuse not to watch because it was on Netflix, but it's the worst movie ever made. It sounds like The Electric State. Did you see? So I don't usually do this, but I watched the pitch meeting of The Electric State, without having seen the movie, and they were joking about how bad the ending was. And I went on YouTube, and sure enough, somebody had posted the ending, and I just mouth agape at how this could be a $320 million movie. It's just
the pitch meeting, as in the fake pitch of the movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Everyone hates it. Everyone hates everything the Russos do that aren't the Avengers. I love them when they did Arrested Development. I think they did very good Avengers movies.
Sure,
but
yeah.
That's maybe all they're capable of.
It seems that way. That's crazy.
Also, real fast, Chris Pratt, what are you doing?
No.
I mean, I get it. You're a franchise guy, but you're the new Rock. You're wasting whatever potential you have to do anything.
Totally agree. Opus was up next, the A24 weird movie of the month, which is getting really bad reviews. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen that. Another movie we didn't talk about that I'm excited to see is EFIS, which sounds like Opus, about the it's about the recreational baseball or softball league. It's supposed to be like the great hangout movie of it's out right now. So yeah, I'm going to watch it, and then I'll do a podcast about that and Black Bag on my own.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. Next up is Snow White, which, of course, also a big, box office flop. But I don't know. I've heard some people who say that it's actually not bad, but, it's just caught up in all this controversy and all this crap. So
that's the level. Actually not bad. If a Disney remake gets to actually not bad, then it's a success.
It's towards the top. Yeah.
I think that's what I didn't see Mufasa. I know that people are like, it's okay. And then it made a lot of money. So, but this is, forget Marvel fatigue. This is the new Disney money grab fatigue that I don't have any interest in any of these. They're not doing anything creative. They're not doing anything unique. It's just a straight up cash grab.
Yeah. And this is the shame is that it's clearly that, but then also the right wing trash bags are just totally bombing this thing like left and right everywhere, and that is a shame on top of it.
The left could do it too if they wanted to because of the CGI little people or whatever. What is the right wing saying about? Oh, because she's not white, right?
Well, it's that. It's that, but it's also they hate Rachel Zegler for some reason. They just think she's the worst person since AOC, basically.
Yeah. Well, what do they have in common, Dave?
I know. I can't imagine what it is that they're latching on to.
Yeah. So think of two things. Interesting.
Let's move on before we get into any more of this. The Alto Knights was up next, the double Robert De Niro movie, which I was supposed to do a live show on, but unfortunately it fell through. It happens, but not doing too well in the theater.
They
But
say it's the biggest bomb of the year so far, and
yeah,
it was a favor that Zaslav did to Levinson and Pileggi, and you got three legends up there in age with De Niro in there. I mean, I wish it was good, but they say there was just nothing to it.
yeah.
So,
I might watch that one when it comes to rental also.
they.
Yeah. Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Bob Trevino Likes It, which I don't even know if that came out. That's one of those movies that just kind of goes under the radar, but it is.
Is that the one about like the widow or the person loses the girl loses the dad or the friend, and then she meets another friend?
Grief, and we all have grief together and all that kind of
and
stuff.
they like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jonathan Majors' magazine Dreams was finally going to come out after getting delayed for 2 years because of his assault charges. And then like the day before it hit theaters, like more text came out kind of confirming things. And so it just came out the other day. It's probably going to do nothing. I don't know. It sounds like it's a disaster all around. So
the word is that he's great in it, but that the movie chokes.
Oh, very nice.
Because domestic violence, Dave.
Yeah.
No, but they say it's just all him and there's nothing else to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up was The Woman in the Yard, which just came out today that we're recording, so I haven't gotten to see that, of course. Although I'm hearing it's pretty good. And
I'm not hearing that at all. I mean,
you're
you're a movie critic person, Dave. I'm not. I'm not one of those cucks in the film society of Las Vegas. But they didn't offer any screeners or any advanced screenings of it. So,
that's absolutely right. But you know me, that doesn't mean a damn thing to me. Like I like a lot of movies that are just for the people, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. So, you're for the people.
Yes. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Road Trip. I think it was on streaming. I don't know. It might be out. I'm not sure about that one. So
are they upset that they're Latino too? The same people who are upset at Snow White. Are they upset? Alexander, that's a white name.
Maybe. I'm sure they're upset about a lot of things, quite frankly.
Sorry if you came here to just hear about movies, but we're in a bad fucking place right now.
We really are. We also did a live show on Mickey 17. Jason was there, and it was all right. It was a little bit of a disappointment, but a good time at the show. And last but not least, A Working Man, which I was also supposed to do a live show on, but things got kind of switched around on me. Ended up doing this thing with UNLV instead. But I can't wait to see it. It's just open today. So
we're big Statham guys over here.
If I don't
Working Man.
If I don't see Black Bag, it's because I'm at A Working Man. So
I think I told you when I used to be rep by WME, I'd go into the building and like Ben Affleck would be in the lobby with me or whatever. And once I go and Jason Statham's on the same elevator as me and he's got 2 bodyguards with him, I'm like, what? You're a working man. Like if anyone doesn't need 2 bodyguards, it's you, Statham, but whatever. So.
All right, let's get to April. Starting off with The Friend on April 4th, and it is National Pet Month. And by the way, you can pre-order the new The Pup Pups album right now.
There it is. That's what it's all here for.
So this is Naomi Watts playing a woman who inherits this Great Dane from a friend, and she's going through grief, and her and the dog are going to go through grief together. We're getting into some more grief stuff here. Got a great supporting cast: Bill Murray, Ann Dowd, and Constance Wu. And we all know Great Danes do not live very long, so we know that the dog is probably not going to make it. But
are you going to see this, Dave?
I don't know. I mean, I love dogs, obviously, and I do like dog movies, but I don't know. They just all kind of are the same. You know what I mean? But maybe.
If I was a movie theater, my whole gimmick would be bring your dog, watch the movie, and then you could have dog-friendly screenings and everything.
That sounds fun.
Especially if you're the AMC in town, since you refuse to clean up your theater anyway. It's not going to make it any dirtier. Maybe the dogs will lick the popcorn off the floor that you guys refuse to clean up town square.
That's a great idea.
So, I mean, you said it. It's dog. It's uprooting or upending your life. grief. So, you go to Marley and Me right away, right?
Hmm.
I actually thought there was a lot of cool shots, and it's Bill Murray, right? And a lot of cool shots of a woman driving around New York City, in this case with the dog. So it brought me back to the Sofia Coppola, Bill Murray movie, not Lost in Translation, On the Rocks. That was a
Sure.
pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And then, when they're going over the cast, the dog, I think his name is Bing, is credited, and I was like, well, the last dog that got billing that high was an Anatomy of a Fall dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
so those are my picks right there.
I
So,
love it. I love it.
throw in Arthur the King if you want, but leave me alone.
Yeah, I put Max, the Channing Tatum army dog movie, which seems very similar in the whole grief thing. And then I put Scooby Doo just because he is, in fact, a Great Dane. So, yeah, it looks sweet. And, like I said, great cast. So it could be something. Next up is a Minecraft movie, which will also be in theaters April 4th. Jason's shaking his head already. Here's the thing about this movie. It looks like I just said that The Electric State is the worst movie of all time. This looks even worse than The Electric State. But the thing is, it's Jared Hess reuniting with Jack Black. And I just rewatched Nacho Libre. It is so funny. And I
All
just
right.
don't understand how this could look so bad.
I like Jared Hess's what is it called? Murder amongst Mormons. His little
The show.
3-part docu-series that he did about Mormons doing murders.
Mhm.
So only Mormons in the building?
Sure.
Nope, not right. But yeah, again, we just mentioned money grabs. Like, I get it. Like, we've done great IP movies. Like, for instance, you could use the Lego movie as a piece here, right?
Sure.
But this just looks so lazy and terrible. And look, I know Jack Black's doing a lot of stuff like this, but it just seems like him, Momoa, everyone seems miscast in this movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't even really. I mean, the comedy's so terrible. Jennifer Coolidge comes in at the end and looks at a block man and is like, "Your head is so big," and it's like, what is this? It looks really, really bad. So.
Yeah.
So I said Lego. They get stuck in this world. So there's Jumanji, you're fighting characters, pixels, and of course, Super Mario. So
Yeah, absolutely. All of the above. Also throw Barbie in there as well because you're going into this weird, wacky other world. But Jumanji is the main one. And
that was my first Jennifer Coolidge impression. What did you think of that?
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
Okay.
We got to do like another Christopher Guest movie or something on Awesome Movie, or so you can just do it the whole time.
Or find some movie that I can bring my Bruno S impression back to do a Jennifer Coolidge Bruno S. Nobody wants that.
That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, we're moving on to a good-looking movie. How about that? Freaky Tales, which will be in theaters April 4th. This is the directors who made Half Nelson and then went on to make Captain Marvel, which is just such a weird transition, and now onto something interesting and weird and kind of out there looking. But this is inspired by a Too Short song, I believe, which is kind of my first puzzle piece. But it's about all these interconnected stories taking place in Oakland, and there's like drug deals gone wrong and just all kinds of people after each other. And it looks like a lot of fun. Pedro Pascal's in it, Ben Mendelsohn, a whole bunch of other people. I think this looks like a good time.
I love that, there's an impetus of, hey, while basketball player Sleepy Floyd is playing with the Warriors, we're going to go rob his house. I don't know if you know this, it's not really a puzzle piece, but there was a string of robberies in professional athletes' houses, mansions, apartments while they were playing games recently.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I do love that Sleepy Floyd is chopping people up with a sword and everything like that.
Sure.
So I have a friend who was working on a documentary about Run TMC, which was the Golden State Warriors, Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond, Chris Mullin, like fast break kind of style offense of that time. So I sent him this trailer the first time I saw it, and it's pretty cool that they took it to this time period. The VHS horror movies right away, right? That's and I think
Sure.
this is an anthology too. There's definitely. I mean, it's the opposite coast, but there's definitely a feel of the Warriors going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then last one, the one thing that disappointed me in there was I did the last job yesterday. I'm out. You're out when we say you're out. And it's like very on the nose dialogue. But if you want to see a better version of that, I would say we covered it in an Awesome Movie Year with Sexy Beast.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Sexy Beast is awesome, but yeah, no, this looks really all over the place in a kind of good way. I put Magnolia in Oakland as a puzzle piece here.
Because of the anthology.
Yeah, all the interconnected various stories and characters, and then I put White Boy Rick. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of has that
I
kind
never
of.
watched it.
It was fun. It was all right, but yeah, it has that kind of vibe with the whole dangerous story, but done in a wacky and ridiculous way. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. So, yeah, hopefully it's good. Next up is,
You should do a live one of that. Not this,
I'm doing the amateur that weekend. Otherwise, that was on my
Who
list
wants
of
to see
things.
that? Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah,
Go to Dave's event.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that, baby.
Yeah. You get free tickets if you enter to win. Next up is Warfare on April 11th in theaters. This is the new Alex Garland movie that he co-wrote and direct with a veteran. It's supposed to be like a very just like realistic, stark, intense kind of version of a war movie. Will Poulter, Michael Gandolfini, Joseph Quinn are in it. But yeah, apparently he shot this like back to back with Civil War, which is interesting.
We love us some Alex Garland on this podcast here. We were recently on Awesome Movie Year. We're in 1941, and we were talking. We just did a movie called Target for Tonight, which is a documentary, a propaganda documentary made by the Royal Air Force's, kind of film unit about the military and their strikes and everything. And in that conversation, we talked about a couple of movies, Acts of Valor or Act of Valor,
I think it was
right?
Act of Valor. Yeah.
Right, which is the movie the Navy SEALs made that starred Navy SEAls. And also the Clint Eastwood movie 1517 to Paris.
Yeah.
The train one where he uses the actual people who stopped a terrorist attack on the train. So those are obviously two. I mean, it seems like it's a military group that's pinned down in a very tight location. So that brought me to Black Hawk Down.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, I had one other one there, Dave. It's again something like that where you have to get to a secure location, but people are stopping you. I haven't seen it in a long time, but Safe House, the Denzel, was it Ryan Reynolds? Denzel Washington?
I think
Ryan
so.
Reynolds movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just had one of those weird Netflix resurgences where it's like number one on Netflix, even though it's like a 20-year-old movie,
We're going to get to the house and it's going to be safe.
Oh, God. I will
I'm going to find out the truth. I guarantee you that.
I will throw in.
That was Courage Under Fire.
Nice. I like it. I'll throw in.
Sorry, I'm Denzel now. My man.
Oh God, Dunkirk. As far as these war movies that are like very specifically about the intensity and not so much about story or anything like that. And then 1917 I threw in there. It just kind of feels like it's all real time ish. So yeah, but a lot of the stuff that you mentioned.
What about 1979, Smashing Pumpkins song? We don't need. I'm rocking the Corgan look right now myself.
Did you ever see that YouTube video where that song starts and there's a roller coaster going up, and then as soon as the roller coaster drops down, it goes wee?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Next up is Drop, which will also be in theaters April 11th, and also would have been a fun live show. A lot of movies for live shows here. Christopher Landon, who made Happy Death Day, he did this one, and that was a really fun movie. This is another fun horror comedy, or not necessarily horror comedy, just like a fun horror movie. Megan Fahey stars as a woman on a date who gets airdropped a message that her family is being held hostage, and if she doesn't kill her date, her family will die. And I'm wondering if airdrops will be something that people know about, 30 years from now when they look back at this movie.
I'm wondering what you think like the equivalent would be from like 30 years ago. What would that be? Like formatting a floppy disk or something like that?
Yeah, I guess so. Dropping a floppy in somebody's mailbox or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So this was produced by a gentleman who was like a high school mentor to me, who I'm still in touch with, who's very successful, who reads all my scripts and always says, "This is really good. There's nothing I can do with it." So really, really thrilled about how that worked. But whatever. So It's fun. I'm always rooting for them.
Yeah.
You mentioned it, the idea of like, hey, if you don't do this, we're going to kill your family, right? Brings me back to one of the great lines of all time. which I'll paraphrase. If you don't do it by 2 p.m., your daughter will be dead. Say it. Say it. Say it. Christopher Walken, Johnny Depp, Nick of Time.
Amazing.
Underrated film, I'd say, right?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
I mean, the whole idea of the villain being able to see everything that the person is doing took me to Scream. And obviously, maybe some elements of the game or Saw in there as well, I'd say.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, Scream seems to inspire everything that Christopher Landon has done at this point, so that makes a lot of sense. And along with Nick of Time, I'll throw in two other movies that kind of just feel right in that same realm. Red Eye with Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, and Carry On from last year, which had a pretty similar conceit with a cell phone.
That movie did really well.
It did. It was pretty fun, actually. So, yeah, but these kinds of thrillers are usually pretty fun, and so hopefully this will be a good time. Next up is our Angel Studios movie of the month.
Yeah.
The King of Kings, which will be in theaters April 11th. This is an animated movie. Is it their first animated? I'm not sure, but it's a Charles Dickens story of Jesus. And I'm sorry.
What can't Angel Studios do?
They've got it all. But the amazing thing about this one is the freaking voice cast that they wrapped into this movie. They've got Mark Hamill, Pierce Brosnan, Uma Thurman, Kenneth Branagh, and Oscar Isaac as Jesus.
He's got that olive skin, Dave.
This is just wild. I don't know what to do with this movie, Jason.
Do a live show at a church.
At
Dave.
a church, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the move. That's where I get a built-in audience of like 3,000. That'll be great.
If you were breaking into film today, you wanted to be a successful screenwriter, I might tell you, like, hey, you should try to write a religious, faith-based family film. There's a huge market for it.
There is.
So,
yeah.
you know, so, yeah, I mean, the idea of like the kid not fitting in with the rest of the Christian folks, shall we say, brought me to Arthur Christmas, which is a great movie. But you know what? So my dad is going to see Mandy Patinkin live, and
Gina wants to go. She wanted to drive and go see it.
Oh yeah, you should do it. So his friend has never seen, they're going to go together, but his friend has never seen The Princess Bride, so they're going to watch that. And I was like, oh, that's funny because this has that storytelling. Let me tell you about the greatest story ever told, and then the kid's interrupting and everything like that. And then I also thought of Time Bandits because the kid is also in the scenes as well. And that was weird for me. There's one other movie. I'm going to look it up. It's such a deep. Yeah, okay. It's called Everyone's Hero. It's about a kid who like joins the New York Yankees and his like bat talks to him and then someone steals the bat. And there's elements of that. Nope, I'm totally wrong. That's a different movie later. You can hold off on if you want. But I do have that in a later thing. This is good podcasting all the way around. I'll just say The Last Temptation of Christ because Jesus.
There you go. I will do my best to edit around that, but yeah,
you can leave it in. I fucked it up. It's fine.
I might just leave it in. It'll make my life easier. Yeah, The Princess Bride and just any Jesus movie. That's what I have. But this is clearly inspired by The Princess Bride, I think. So yeah, I'm sure this will make a boatload of money, and that's good because movie theaters need it, even if it's this stuff, So next up is Sneaks, which will be in theaters April 18th, which is an animated movie about anthropomorphic talking sneakers, which I think is actually kind of a pretty cute idea, even though I probably won't make it out to see this one. But the voice cast includes Anthony Mackie, Martin Lawrence, Lawrence Fishburne. It's from the writer of The Princess and the Frog, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know. I think it looks kind of fun in a very silly way.
Isn't this an idea or produced by DJ Mustard?
Ooh, I do not know.
I feel like that's a thing, but this does not look good, Dave. Let's not kid ourselves. It's Toy Story for sneakers, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah. And this was the one that I was thinking about, Everyone's Hero, the 2006 film, because of like the in this case, it's the if he has the right sneakers, he can, be the best basketball player. If he had Babe Ruth's bat, he could be the best hitter, that type of thing. So I have that. And there's also, they literally say, I got the golden ticket. So throw your Willy Wonka in there too.
There you go. Yeah. In place of your Toy Story, I went with Sausage Party. Same basic idea there. Oh. But I think the reason I'm really excited about this one is because my other puzzle piece, Slam dunk Ernest.
Yeah.
Ernest gets a pair of magic basketball shoes that makes him great at basketball, but they have a mind of their own. So,
They're
yeah,
like flubber, but for sneakers.
yes.
By the way, if you're listening to this, feel free to inundate Awesome Movie or co-host Josh Bell's inbox with Ernest clips. He loves Ernest and loves when people send him clips of Ernest. So just send him as many as you want,
Yeah.
any platform, email, whatever it is.
Yes, he will be looking forward to that for sure. Next up is Sinners, which will be in theaters April 18th. It's been delayed a couple of times.
That's worrisome, isn't it?
Why is that?
Well, because why does it keep getting delayed?
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we were
no,
supposed to have it last month, and
yeah,
it's the big Ryan Coogler movie, so we thought it was going to be rad, and then
yeah.
if it keeps getting delayed, that's not a good sign.
Well, and you brought up press screenings earlier too. I think the press screenings aren't until like the 16th or 17th, so also not always a great sign. So, but I don't know. It looks like it could be good. Michael B. Jordan starring Ryan Coogler, which that's a great team up. Supernatural horror movie. It's some kind of vampire type thing. It looks like the kind of thing that could be great, but it also could go really bad. So who knows?
I was excited to see. I mean, the preview looked good. It's
Yeah,
going to be shot for IMAX. So, but the delays do worry me, Dave. They
yeah,
do worry me a lot. I don't know if any of these are right, but we'll take a shot at them. So it's Southern. It's religious. There's a supernatural element. There are people attacking black people, right? Those are kind of where I'm going from this. I was thinking about Rosewood, the I think it was the Ving Rhames like black cowboy movie where elements of racism against that.
yeah,
I was thinking about Angel Heart because of that kind of southern kind of mystification and supernatural element to it. And then along with that, I had Frailty, which we mentioned a lot. I think that's a movie that's worth rediscovering.
I think
Frailty,
so
right
too.
there.
Yeah,
And then it seems like they're going to have to fight these supernatural creatures, and that kind of took me to From Dusk Till Dawn.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll leave the skeleton key out.
Yeah, Frailty. I would like to rewatch that too. You're right. I've never
You're
seen
not
Angel
a
Heart.
demon, are you? That was Bill Paxton.
That's good. Yeah, I think you could do it better, Bill Paxton. But
All right, all right, all right. I'm in this movie too.
God, From Dusk Till Dawn was on my list, and also John Carpenter's Vampires, which this seems to kind of definitely have a similar vibe to, which I just watched for the first time this past month, and it's very ridiculous. And I hope this movie is fun. So, but I'm definitely planning on seeing it. So we will see. Next up on 420 in theaters, limited release is Cheech and Chong's last movie.
Yeah, I've never seen a Cheech and Chong movie. I've seen Cheech in movies before, but I've
Oh,
never watched Up in Smoke or any of them. What's up with that,
that's
dude?
crazy. We're gonna have to get to one on Awesome Movie here at some point. Up in Smoke would be the one. What? I wonder what year that
Yeah,
is.
man.
Yeah, it's really fun. Up in Smoke. The other ones, that's 78. We'll do 78 at some point, I'm sure. So
Yeah, you can suggest it too.
yeah,
So,
yeah, we'll make that happen. But yeah, this looks fun. It's kind of like a pseudo documentary that's also apparently they were working on an actual last movie and it just kind of fell through, but they still were shooting things of them going on this road trip. So it's kind of both a movie and a documentary at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like a documentary. They're talking about the form of comedy and how they came to their kind of point of view, which reminded me of the Steve Martin documentary. Steve Martin, a documentary in two parts. And then they're using the car as like their framing device to get into all the stories. And that took me to the Albert Brooks documentary that Rob Reiner did, where they're just sitting in a, diner or a restaurant. And, all of the kind of impetus comes from the conversations out of there.
Yeah, that's a good one, the Albert Brooks one. Yeah, I went to things like mockumentaries, basically, like Christopher Guest, especially A Mighty Wind, because of the whole getting the band back together idea of it. So I mean, that was the main one that I thought of here. And then I also went with I'm Still Here, the Joaquin Phoenix, Casey Affleck movie that's kind of billed as a documentary, but then it's also kind of not, and it's like they kind of blur the lines on that whole thing. So. Yeah, I don't know what to expect with this. I would have loved one final Cheech and Chong actual movie, but this could be a lot of fun.
I mean, having not seen any, yeah, it would be cool to have one more movie, but I'm glad we have the documentary. So
Yeah, for sure.
the Albert Brooks one is called Defending My Life.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right, so next up is Bullet Train Explosion, which will be on Netflix April 23rd. And I only heard about this one because I heard that it was a remake of the movie that was the inspiration for the original Speed, which is pretty interesting, pretty
Well,
cool.
there you go.
Yeah, and so this is from the director of Shin Godzilla. So that was a pretty damn cool Godzilla movie too. So it could be fun if it's executed at a good level and it's not just another Netflix action movie.
Yeah, speed, obviously, the first on all of our lists. The train can't go under 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
There's a again, really rote dialogue of like, the two, I guess they would be conductors talking, and they're like, our job is to get them there safely. And it's like, come on, man, like, let's do a little better than that. But that took me to like Captain Phillips, that type of movie right there. And then you can pick crazy action fun movie on a train. We did Kill last year. There's Snowpiercer. You just pick whichever one you want to.
I will pick Bullet Train. How about that?
Wow, what a shock.
There you go. I'm being lazy, but that's fine. Also lazy because I know the director did Shin Godzilla, but a lot of Godzilla movies do deal with like the government incompetence, not being able to fix this giant disaster that's going on. And so really just the Godzilla movies in general, even though here, instead of a giant monster, we're dealing with a giant disaster. So, yeah, I think, like I said, hopefully this one will be pretty fun. Our last movie for our main list here is The Accountant 2, which will be in theaters April 25th. And it's really hard to believe that we're getting this sequel 9 years later to this little Ben Affleck action movie where he's an autistic accountant. But it was good. I liked it back then. I haven't seen it since back then, but this looks good too. John Bernthal's in it this time as his brother.
He's
J.K.
in the
Simmons.
first one too, bro.
Was he in the first one? I don't
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah, that's like the big reveal.
Okay.
I just watched it last year's. Look, I like The Accountant. Here's the issue with this trailer. It's terrible. The song they choose, maybe the worst song that I've heard in a trailer in the decade.
It's a pretty good Nine Inch Nails song, but they did the whole stretching it out and making it slow thing,
They did it so bad.
Yeah.
Like I mean, honestly, I wanted to stop watching it, like, because, like, again, like you're saying, the way they utilize that song is just over and over, and it's just really unbecoming to the film, if you ask me.
It's a weird choice. Definitely a weird choice. But I don't know. I'm excited for this. What do you think of
I want to watch it, of course. Yeah, I thought of Den of Thieves too, because I'm wondering tonally if they're going for a weird, more of like a, we're brothers and we're in this together, which is totally different than, the first one. And then because it does look like the brothers are going to be together, I, of course, chose the classic 1992 film Double Trouble, starring those two big twins who fuck people up.
Wow, very good deep pull there for you, Jason. I enjoy it.
We should do a breaking it apart on Double Trouble.
Hey, that sounds like a good time. I put The Beekeeper on my list because they're taking down this huge crooked organization. It looks like
I'm the beekeeper.
I'm the beekeeper. And then I put Batman with, obviously he is a Batman, but also he's talking to his voice assistant, getting, it's basically like him talking to Alfred in the Batman movies. So, yeah, I threw that in there as well. I don't know. I'm hopeful for it, but we will see. I've also got live shows coming up on Screamboat, the Mickey Mouse IP slasher movie. The thing that makes me a little more excited about this one than the other IP slasher movies is that David Howard Thornton is the Mickey Mouse here, the Steamboat Willie, and that is, of course, our Terrifier, Art the Clown. So that could be a fun performance. Did you watch this trailer?
I've seen bits and pieces. I mean, no. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You know what to expect. It's yeah. They're gonna make Mickey Mouse jokes, and he's gonna come and slash people in the throat. So there you go. And then The Amateur, which is Rami Malek, is actually a great cast, and it looks like a solid action movie. Kind of nothing more, nothing less, but should be a good time.
The hitman genre is really all over the place right now.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Any other things that you wanted to shout out for the month of April?
Nope.
No.
My shows, I'll shout them out.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So anything you watched recently you wanted to recommend to our listeners?
Let me look that up, Dave. You vamp while I look up my Letterboxd list right now. So.
Yeah. Screamboat is at Downtown Cinemas on April 3rd, and The Amateur is at Maya Cinemas on April 10th. And then we'll see about announcing some more live shows very soon. And by now, I would imagine that Jason has a really good pick for something that he watched
Yeah,
recently.
well, there was this movie called Black Bag that I watched that I really liked. So
I should watch
would-
that. I should watch
You should definitely watch that one. Here, I'll recommend something that I watched kind of in. You know what? We're gonna stick with Black Bag. Go watch Black Bag, Dave. Until you watch some Black Bag, that's your recommendation for now.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Jason, where can people find you and everything you're up to?
Jason Harris Comedy or Jay Harris Comedy on all the intrawebs things. He's awesome movie year. We're in 1941. It's pretty cool, man. There's some stuff that I don't like, but some stuff that I really do like, and we're getting to watch a lot of interesting movies. So please check that out. I have a lot of shows coming up. Eat This Comedy's coming back if you want to get some delicious food and see some comedy. April 17th, Ada's Food and Wine in Las Vegas. Metro Pizza in Las Vegas, May 1st. Aroma Latin American Cocina, May 15th in Las Vegas, right there for you. My residency at Jimmy Kimmel's comes back April 20th. That's every Sunday. And, we got the trivia parties rocking and rolling Tuesday and Wednesday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Jason, as always, great getting you back. And I'll talk to you soon when I finally watch Black Bag.
I'll work on more impressions.
Okay, good. Yeah, that sounds good. You got a Michael Fassbender for us?
I'm working, man.
Okay, good. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jason Harris about some of the movies coming out in April 2025. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you're enjoying piecing it together, make sure you're subscribed. We've got a lot of episodes on the way, and you'll find out about them as soon as they come out if you get subscribed wherever you listen to podcasts. We actually just added the show to YouTube. It's still audio only, but if that's where you like to listen to your podcast, you can get us there now. And, of course, we're on all the other places, the Apple Podcasts, the Spotify, the Good Pods, the Pocket Casts, all those places. So, make sure you're subscribed. Maybe drop a 5-star rating and review while you're at it. You can also follow us on social media at PiecingPod. And I also want to mention that last week I started the pre-order for the next The Pup Pups album. It's called Another One Already, but you just had one. And it is 18 ridiculous, silly, fun songs about my pets and about pets in general. And it is something that I had so much fun putting together, and I think you're all going to love this one. It is just an absolute blast, this album. And if you act fast in the next couple of weeks, you can get your pre-order in, and you will get your pet included on the special bonus song that I record at the end of all of these albums, these Pup Pups albums, where I take one of the songs and extend it to a ridiculous comical length to include everybody's pets in the words of the song. And that's why I want to get your pet included in the song. So all you got to do is get your pre-order in at thepuppups.bandcamp.com. And if you do, you will get included. Just got to get that pre-order in within the next couple of weeks. So check it out. Again, it's thepuppups.bandcamp.com. And I guess I should play a song from that now to entice you. Of course, we always play a piece of my music to go out on. And so let's see, which one should I play from it today? I'm going to go with a song called Covered in Dust, which I'm sure all of those pet parents out there will totally relate with. All of the toys that you buy your cats, and they just get completely ignored and covered in dust while they go play with the box, of course, because they're cats. So let's go out with Covered in Dust, and thanks for listening to Piecing It Together. We'll be back with another episode real soon.
Oh, well, she's playing with the box. The toy can kick rocks, and now that toy is covered in dust. It was her Christmas gift. It was on her list, but now that toy is covered in dust. Oh, la 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 la. Now it's covered in dust. Oh, la 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 la. Now it's covered in dust. I thought that toy was so cool. Oh la la